So at this time of year, I know a lot of people are looking ahead to September and thinking about recommitting to an alcohol-free goal. Maybe August just hasn't felt like the right time for you, what with summer here and the holiday season. But come September, whether you've got kids or not, there is that back to school vibe and that opportunity to refocus, reset and go again. So this video today is all about what to do before you take a break from booze. And taking a break, by the way, is what I recommend. Just focus on the break. Please do not get to September the 1st and decide that that's it, I'm never, ever, ever drinking again. That's me done forever. The F word, forever, can soon become very overwhelming and you can end up paralyzed and just talking yourself out of taking any action at all. Whereas the idea of taking a break is generally much more manageable mindset-wise. And what I recommend is committing to taking a 6-week break from drinking, where you go all in and you give it 100% so that you can experience alcohol-free living properly. You want to take that complete break, do the mindset work, get educated, and give yourself the opportunity to really find out what it's all about. Then at the end of those 6 weeks, then you can decide what you want to do next. And keep in mind that the very hardest bit of sobriety is always the first few days and weeks. So if you're in a pattern of only stopping from Monday to Thursday, you are literally repeating the hardest bit over and over. And that's what I want to get you out of. I want to get you taking a proper break so you can get on to the good bit. However, before you take that break, there is some important prep work that you can and should do. And I recommend that you track where your life is at right now. We want to do almost a bit of an assessment so we can compare your life whilst you're drinking with your life when you're alcohol free. And this is very important because the brain is a pretty unreliable source of the truth. It is wired to protect you from pain, which is why it often conveniently forgets a lot of that really bad stuff or the really annoying stuff about drinking. So we get around that by collecting and recording our data first. So if you scroll underneath this blog video, you will find this Sober School Tracker. It's a PDF download that will guide you through the data that you want to collect before you stop drinking and take that break from booze. And I have designed it so you can print it off like I have, or you can actually fill it in on your computer. But you just want to go through it and get that data, because this guide will give you several prompts, several things that you need to record about how alcohol is affecting your sleep, time, money, calorie intake. It'll help you think about what drinking is preventing you from doing and what you don't like about drinking. And these are all things that you want to have written down in black and white. You want to have a clear, accurate record of. And that accuracy really is so important, because sometimes people will try and say to me, oh, you know what, Kate, I mean, my drinking, it doesn't actually take up any of my time. I drink whilst I'm cooking, or, I drink whilst I'm watching TV, and I'm going to cook every evening or watch TV every evening anyway. So actually there isn't really a time cost. Like, some people truly believe that alcohol is not stealing any of their time. But what I will get you to see in this is that actually this is just your brain trying to protect you with some lies. Because whilst it might be true that you often drink whilst doing other things, alcohol will still be costing you time in other ways. There's the time you spend recovering from drinking, feeling hungover, the time you spend putting things right after, I don't know, that argument that you started whilst drinking, or checking what you posted on Facebook or who you texted. Then there's the time you spend actually managing your alcohol habit. You're buying booze, perhaps rotating through a few different shops just in case anyone who works there has noticed how often you come in. There's the time you spend worrying about your drinking, Googling for help, even just watching videos like this. This is the kind of detail you have to go into, and these are the things that you want to be reflecting on before trying to work out how much of your time that alcohol is using up. And in here, in this guide, these prompts will help you figure out that time number properly. And you want to get it right. I mean, time is one of our most precious resources. We'd all love a bit more time in the day. I think we all notice how fast it's passing. And I just have the sneaky feeling that alcohol will be taking more of your time than you realise. Another thing you're going to want to track is your sleep. And I've got to tell you, this whole video was actually inspired by a conversation I had with one of my students who said to me, "Kate, you will not believe the difference in my sleep." And she actually sent me some screenshots from her fitness tracker, which I am going to show you now. So this is her sleep when she was drinking. And on this chart, blue represents periods of sleep or rest, and orange bars, indicates periods of activity or stress. So orange is obviously fine during the day, but just look how much orange she has between midnight and 8 a.m. Look at that. Now compare that drunken sleep with what happened after just 2 weeks on my Getting Unstuck course. Now look how much blue there is between midnight and 8 a.m. because now she's sober, she actually is sleeping properly. She's resting, recharging, and getting that deep sleep. So if you have a fitness tracker or some kind of device that tracks your sleep, now is the time to go and get some screenshots, save them. And if you don't have a fitness tracker, no problem, just write a sleep log. You know, write down what time did you wake up this morning and how refreshed did you feel. So if you were up at 4 a.m. because you were drinking last night and you just woke up and couldn't get back to sleep, you want to write that down as well and record that in here. And let me be clear, I'm not asking you to write this stuff down just so you have another raft of things to beat yourself up about. That is not the point. But what we're trying to do is build a solid picture of how alcohol affects every area of your life, so that if you take a break from drinking, you can then repeat this same data collection exercise afterwards and truly compare, like truly see what's changed. Because like I said, we often misremember or gloss over or forget how things really were. And I often talk to my students at the Sober School about being the scientist of your sobriety. And I want you to do that. This is the beginning of that process. You're collecting data, collecting experience. You're not judging anything, no drama. You're just putting yourself in a position where you're going to be able to make decisions based on facts and evidence. And collecting this data in here is a really, really big part of that. So check out this download below and then go ahead and let me know in the comments. I'd really like to hear from you. What do you think is the biggest thing for you? Is it sleep quality? Is it the time lost? Or is it the expense? I haven't talked about that, or the calories. What about the things that you can't do because you've been drinking? Let me know. I'm really curious to hear what comes up and what stands out for you.